Were there any other contenders for the title, or was it just an obvious title to you, CSI, Crime Scene Investigator?
Yeah, I had CSA for a while because they were called crime scene analysts. They're really called field services in Las Vegas. And then I believe Joe Cohen, my agent, was the one that said CSI. The problem was there was a CSI.com floating around. There was some kind of business or something. But I think last minute they just said, screw it. We'll do CSI, and the rest is history.
You went on an actual ride along with a CSI unit in Vegas, right? When did that happen, and what how that impressed you?
Well, the ride along happened before the construction of the pilot. So as I was gathering information and research, as luck would have it, Monty Spoor was a crime scene analyst there, and we were in a high school together. So he was like, "Hey, come on over." I met Daniel Holstein, who's the real life Gil Grissom, who's this kind of like big guy, likes to bet sports. He, one of 15 people, in licensed in blood spatter analysis, keeps maggots inside of vials inside of his desk, eats chocolate-covered crickets and all that stuff. So I went on ride-alongs. And on day 2, there was a 19-year-old woman who lured another 19-year-old woman back to a motel. They were going to have some sexual fun. And when she walked in, there were 3 men that surprised her, took advantage of her, and we got the call for a sexual assault. Well, next thing I know, we're blowing red lights at 100 miles an hour, and I was freaked out, scared to death. We show up, the 3 guys they caught, the victim they have in protective custody, but the 19-year-old who lured her there, they couldn't find her. So the CSI, to be a big shot, said, "Hey, here's some gloves and some booties and a little comb. Why don't you go comb around the bed for biologicals?" Which meant semen, whatever. So I had my little book, and I was, being fake CSI, and looking for things with a flashlight. And next thing I know, the bed started moving, and there was nobody near the bed. And I lifted the bed skirt, and there were 2 sets of eyes. The 19-year-old girl comes out, she scratches my face. I jump to the ceiling. The guy pulls out a gun, freeze! They drag her out, handcuff her, and slam her on the bed, and I'm like, "I'm just the writer, man, I'm just the writer." But what I've learned is that law enforcement, if they don't do their job right and clear the scene, then people will hang around to harm the CSIs trying to get the evidence to convict them. They didn't clear the scene properly. That's how come I got sort of like, quasi-attacked. But if you watch the pilot closely, you'll see that Holly Gribbs was shot at the end of the pilot, and that's where I got the idea.